Good morning children and welcome back to your chemistry class. So today in this chapter of aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids we are going to study about the preparation of aldehydes and ketones. So to begin with, let us start the preparation of aldehydes and ketones from alcohol. Okay. Over here we shall study the oxidation of alcohols with either potassium dichromate with H2SO4, or we can also use KMNO4 with KOH. That is the basic nature of it. So the primary alcohol, right? The primary alcohol, this is your primary alcohol. When it undergoes oxidation, right, in the presence of say K2Cr2O7H2SO4, that is in the acidic medium, it is going to give us aldehyde, that is RCHO, and water will be formed. Clear? But if it is a secondary alcohol, that is CHOH, and this is when oxidized in the presence of K2Cr2O7H2SO4 or in the basic medium, that is KMNO4, then this secondary alcohol is going to give us ketone, that is RC double bond O, and water also will be given out. So aldehyde will be given by the primary alcohol and secondary alcohol is going to give us ketone, right? Then let us understand that by catalytic dehydrogenation of alcohols, right, with copper at 573 Kelvin, we are going to obtain aldehyde and ketone. So again, by the primary alcohol, that is RCH2OH, this is your primary alcohol. When this is under the catalyst copper and which is at temperature 573 Kelvin, this undergoes dehydrogenation and it is going to form aldehyde, that is RCHO. This is your aldehyde, and brisk effervescence of hydrogen gas is given out. But if we use secondary alcohol, that is RCHOH, under the same catalyst, that is copper, with temperature 573, it undergoes catalytic dehydrogenation and it is going to form the ketone, okay, and hydrogen gas is given out. So this is your ketone. So what did we study over here? That primary alcohol on oxidation gives aldehyde, and primary alcohol under catalytic hydrogenation also gives aldehyde. But secondary alcohol under oxidation, it will give ketone, and secondary alcohol during catalytic dehydrogenation is also going to give us ketone. Second reaction, they can be prepared from alkenes also undergoing ozonolysis. Okay, so let us do by reductive ozonolysis of alkenes, we obtain the aldehydes and ketones. So if we take ethylene, that is CH2 double bond CH2, this is what your ethylene. When this is treated under CH2, Cl2 and ozone, it is going to form a ozonoid. What is that ozonoid? Since we are using ethylene, so it is going to form ethylene ozonoid. That is CH2, CH2, the Hut formation. Okay, this is called as your ethylene ozonoid. right? This further, when it is treated with zinc, right, in the presence of water, then it is going to take away zinc oxide, and when zinc oxide is removed from this ethylene ozonoid, then we form formaldehyde, that is HC double bond O. Here how is this formed? See, two molecules of formaldehyde is obtained. Clear? Butene, that is CH3H C double C CH3H. What is this? This is butene, right? Under ozonolysis, that is CH2Cl2O3. What is this going to form? Another ozonoid. Which ozonoid? Butylene ozonoid will be formed over here. So let's see what is butylene ozonoid. CH3HO C CH3HOO. This is called as your butylene ozonoid. Further, when it is treated with zinc in the presence of water, right, it will remove zinc oxide. How? See, zinc will combine with oxygen, remove zinc oxide, and it is going to form what? Two molecules of acetaldehyde will be formed, that is CH3H double bond O, right? So what is this called as? This is called as acetaldehyde. Now these are the two aldehydes that are formed. Aldehydes are formed with ethylene and butene. Now we have to prepare ketone. So ketone will be prepared by 2,3-di-butene. Okay. So how do we write this? This will be written as CH3, CH3, CH3 and CH3. So what is the name of this? This is 2,3-di-methyl butene, right? This on further ozonolysis, that is CH2Cl2 in the presence of ozone, is going to give us the ozonoid. So let's see the ozonoid structure. This is CH3, CH3, OC, CH3, CH3. Okay, this is the ozonoid formed. Let us see the ozonolysis taking place over here. Further, when treated with zinc in the presence of water, remove zinc oxide, right? And what it is going to form? It will form two molecules of acetone, that is CH3C CH3 double bond O. What is this? This is your acetone. So acetone will be formed by 2,3-dimethyl butene, but butene and ethylene is only going to form the aldehydes. I hope this much is clear. Next, the third way of preparing aldehyde and ketones could be by hydration of alkynes. Okay, so third way of preparing aldehydes and ketones could be by hydration of alkynes. So let us start off with preparing acetaldehyde. So for acetaldehyde we take acetylene, that is CH triple bond CH, and this is treated with water under dilute H2SO4 and HgSO4, and the temperature to be maintained is 333 Kelvin. So we obtain an unstable compound over here, right? So this unstable compound is what? It is called as this is your unstable compound and it is called as vinyl alcohol, right? This is called as vinyl alcohol, which further on tautomerizing, it is going to give us acetaldehyde, that is CH3H C double bond O. This is our acetaldehyde. I hope this is clear. Then let us prepare ketone from dehydration of alkynes. So we over here for preparing a ketone, we need propyne. The formula is CH3C triple bond CH. What is this? This is called as propyne. So when this is treated with water under dilute H2SO4 HgSO4 at 333 Kelvin, right, what do we get? Again we get an unstable compound over here. So this is CH3C, okay, OH double bond CH2. This is your unstable compound, which further on tautomerizing is going to give us acetone. So the formula of acetone becomes CH3 double bond O. This H comes over here, CH3 double bond O CH3. So we obtain acetone over here, right? Then now let us do the fourth method of preparing aldehyde and ketone. That could be from acid chlorides, right? The aldehydes, they can be obtained from these acid chlorides by the catalytic hydrogenation. What is that method called as? It is called as Rosemunds reduction. Okay, the catalytic hydrogenation of your acid chlorides, what is that called as? Rosemunds reduction. And from this method, Rosemunds reduction, we can only prepare aldehydes, we cannot prepare ketones. Okay, so why and all that I'll explain you later. So in this method, what happens? The acetaldehyde, that is, let's draw this acetaldehyde first. It is treated with hydrogen gas, right? And it is passed through acid chloride solution in the boiling xylene in the presence of your palladium catalyst, right, which is supported over your barium sulfate, and the partially poisoned by adding sulfur to it. This all we also add the boiling xylene, as I told you earlier. So what did we do over here in this acid chloride? So what happens in Rosemunds reduction? That in this method, hydrogen gas, it is passed through the acid chloride solution, where in the boiling xylene in the presence of palladium catalyst, and this is supported over the barium sulfate, and which is partially poisoned by adding sulfur to it or even quinoline to it, right? And this is going to give us aldehyde, that is RCHO and HCl will be given out. Now formaldehyde cannot be prepared by this method. Why? As your formyl chloride is unstable at room temperature. Okay, so I write over here formaldehyde cannot be prepared by this Rosemunds reduction method, by this method, as formyl chloride, that is HCOCl, is formed, which is unstable at room temperature. Clear? Now catalyst, it is poisoned in order to avoid any further reduction of aldehydes into alcohols. Therefore it is poisoned with sulfur. Do remember this point. Now ketones, as I told you, they cannot be prepared by Roseman's reduction method. Ketones cannot be prepared by Roseman's reaction. Okay, they are prepared by how? Treating these acid chlorides with dimethyl cadmium in the presence of dry ether. Then they will give us ketone. So that is 2 molecules of acid chloride, that is R C double bond O Cl. It is treated with dimethyl cadmium. What is dimethyl cadmium? This is dimethyl cadmium. Okay, and all this under dry ether is going to give us 2 molecules of your ketone, that is your R dash C double bond O R, right? And cadmium chloride will be given out. So here is your ketone and here is your acid chloride. So I hope you have understood. Over here this hydrogen gas is passed through acid chloride and in the presence of boiling xylene and palladium as a catalyst, which is supported by barium sulfate, and this is poisoned by sulfur. Why is it poisoned by sulfur? So that further aldehyde should not get reduced into alcohols and we obtain aldehyde and HCl. But over here by this Roseman's reduction we cannot prepare formaldehyde. Why? Because the formal chloride that is formed, it is unstable at room temperature. Secondly, ketones cannot be prepared by just passing hydrogen gas under any acid chloride, right, or by the Roseman's reduction method. So over here this acid chloride, it is treated with the dimethyl cadmium in the presence of dry ether and hence it is going to form the ketone. I hope this is clear. Next, let us talk about how to prepare aldehydes and ketones from calcium salts of carboxylic acids. The fifth method, as I told you, from calcium salts of carboxylic acids. Okay. So over here, let's see, for example, let's take a calcium salt of the carboxylic acid over here. So it could be RCOO, RCOO. This could be the calcium salt of carboxylic acid and we treat it with the calcium formate, that is HCOO and HCOOCA. This is your calcium formate and this is your calcium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay, now look over here. What it is taking out? CaCO3, and this side if you check, CaCO3. So when this is heated, the calcium salt of carboxylic acid is heated with calcium formate. It is going to form 2 molecules of aldehyde, that is RCHO, and 2 molecules of calcium carbonate will be formed over here, right? Another example could be like if we take calcium formate and straight away heat it. Okay, calcium formate, if it is straight away heated, then also it gives us formaldehyde and calcium carbonate will be removed. So what it is going to give us? It will give us HCHO, that is HCHO. This is your formaldehyde plus CaCO3. 3 calcium carbonate will be released. Okay, so I hope this is very clear to you. Now this was talking about aldehydes. Now let's talk about how to obtain ketones. So to obtain ketones, what can we do? We can take calcium acetate, this CH3COO, and heat it strongly. Okay, when you heat, what do we obtain? We get CH3 C double bond O plus CaCO3 CaCO3. So what do we get? CH3 C double bond O and calcium carbonate. So this is your ketone that is obtained, which is actually your acetone, right? So instead of calcium salts, magnesium, barium salts may also be used in the same method, right? The sixth one, now to obtain aldehydes and ketones from nitriles and esters. Okay, so let us understand the Stephan reduction over here first. Stephan reduction. So from Stephan's reduction we obtain aldehyde, but we cannot obtain ketones from this method. Okay, so let's take for example RCN, that is your nitrile. When it is treated with SnCl2 in the presence of HCl at say around 17 to 22 degrees Celsius temperature, it is firstly going to give us RCH double bond NHHCl. What is the name of this? This is aldimine hydrochloride. What is this? This is aldimine hydrochloride, right? This further, when it is treated with the acid, it is going to give us the aldehyde, that is RCHO. Clear? So this is the aldehyde that is formed over here. Now I told you that ketones cannot be prepared by this method. So nitrile acid halides and esters can be reduced with mild oxidizing agents. And what are those mild oxidizing agents called as? They are called as let me write down, mild oxidizing agents are like used over here are DIBALH. Now what is this? The full form of it is diisobutyl aluminium hydride. Okay, so what does it mean? DIBL, diabyl, H is diisobutyl aluminium hydride, Al is aluminium hydride, right? This is added to amines which on hydrolysis it gives us aldehydes. So this is what we have written over here. The structure of diisobutyl aluminium hydride is somewhat this CH3 2CH2 aluminium with hydrogen CH2CH3 whole twice. So this is the structure of diisobutyl aluminium hydride. Clear? So in short we can write like RCN, which is your nitrile, when it is treated with number 1 diisobutyl hydride and number 2 in the presence of water at around minus 78 degrees Celsius, it is going to give us aldehyde. Okay, and ester, with the esters now. So let's write down an ester over here. Like for example, R dash. This is your ester. Okay. So when this is also treated with your diisobutyl aluminium hydride and water at minus 78 degrees Celsius, it is going to give us aldehyde, that is R C double bond OH plus R dash OH will be formed. See, acid halide also, like for example RCCl double bond O. What is this? This is your acid halide, right? This also under your diisobutyl aluminium hydride, that is TiBaLH, and in the presence of water at minus 78 degree Celsius, it is also going to give us aldehyde, that is R C double bond OH. So I hope this is clear. Last but not the least, how to prepare aldehyde and ketones with Grignard's reagents. With Grignard's reagent. Okay, so let's take H triple bond N, that is hydrogen cyanide. When it is treated with a Grignard's reagent, like for example CH3MgI, right, in the presence of ether, it is going to give us an addition product, that is our HCCH3 double bond N MgI. What is this? This is your addition product. Okay. This further, when treated with 2 molecules of water in the presence of any acid, it is going to give us acetaldehyde, that is HCCH3 double bond O. This is your acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde plus ammonia gas will be given out and MgOHI. Okay. Now, how to obtain acetone? So for obtaining acetone, we take CH3C triple bond N and treat it with the Grignard's reagent MgI in the presence of ether, right? So again we get an addition product over here. So let's see, CH3C CH3 double bond N MgI. This is your additional product that is formed over here. This further, when treated with 2 molecules of water in the presence of acid, it is going to give us acetone, that is CH3C double bond O CH3. This is your acetone, that is the ketone formed over here, plus ammonia plus MgOHI. So I hope you have understood how we can prepare aldehydes and ketones by different methods. So let us talk about the physical properties. Now methanol, it is a gas at room temperature. Okay, methanol is a gas at room temperature. Whereas what do we know about ethanol? Ethanol, it is a volatile liquid. It is a volatile liquid. Now other aldehydes and ketones, they are all liquid or solid at room temperatures. Now the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, they are much higher than the hydrocarbons. The boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, they are much higher than the boiling point of the hydrocarbons. Okay, and ethers of comparable molecular masses of comparable molecular masses. Clear? Why is it so? It is due to the weak dipole-dipole interactions. Due to weak dipole interactions, right? But the boiling points, they are lower than those of the alcohols due to the absence of the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Less than, okay, but they're less than, boiling point is less than alcohols. Why? Due to absence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, right? The boiling point of various organic compounds of these comparable molecular masses, they can be understood like this, like alkanes, the least, followed by the ethers, then more other aldehydes, followed by ketones, then the alcohols, and finally the carboxylic acids. So carboxylic acids, they have the highest boiling point and the least is found in the alkanes. Now remember, the lower members of aldehydes and ketones, they are miscible in water. Why? Due to the formation of hydrogen bond with water. But their solubility, it continuously decreases with the increase in their chain, the alkyl chain. And all aldehydes and ketones, they are fairly soluble in organic solvents, right? So I stop over here today, and in the next video we are going to discuss about the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Thank you.